So I noticed that there is a little controversy out there about color picking. And by color picking, I mean using the color picker on any digital painting software to get the exact color of a reference photo or painting. With this study of powder from Arcane, I did use the color picker. Now, the argument on why this is cheating is that you're not really understanding or learning about color when you use the color picker. You're just mindlessly taking the color from the reference photo and plugging it into your painting. I hear this a lot when some artists talk about digital artists that because we don't have to physically mix paint, we're losing out on really understanding color mixing and color theory. And to an extent, they're right. As a digital artist, I do think you need to put in a little more effort to learn about color just because the processes between digital and traditional are different. I came from a traditional background. I studied oil painting in college, and I didn't start digital painting until 2020. And mixing color as a traditional artist was honestly difficult for me personally, and I can see that weakness in my paintings. But I don't think it has to be an all or nothing situation. After almost 4 years of digital painting, I think I say that I had never used the color picker on a reference photo. I think that was a combination of I always looked at my reference photo on my phone, and I also think that I had in the back of my head that using the color picker was cheating. Now, this study from the video game Stray was the first study I did with the color picker. And I realized that I was completely ignoring all the colors on this side of the color wheel. All my colors on my previous paintings were extremely saturated. And the only time I would even think of using grays was if I was painting a rock or something. And how I found this out was by using the color picker. By the way, the stray painting was made 100% with the color picker. And every time I used the color picker, I would analyze that color and try to ask myself why this color and not another on the color wheel. Was it saturated or not? Was it warm or cool? I used it as a learning opportunity. When we talk about cheating, I think we sometimes forget that most of us are still learning. I think we sometimes put too much pressure on ourselves that we're supposed to know everything already and have it all figured out. I know I don't. That's actually why I've slowed down producing my original paintings. And I'm doing more and more of these studies because I realize I have so much more to learn. And this, in the end, will only enhance my originals and get rid of a lot of the frustration I feel when trying to create my own paintings, where I'm trying to guess where I went wrong. So, for this study of powder, I started after my stray painting and I used the color picker where I was having trouble. And that for me was the skin tone. I felt confident with the blues of the painting, but I would pick what I thought was right for the skin tone, saw it didn't look right, and then I used the color picker to see where I went wrong. As I continued to do this, using the color picker where I hit roadblocks, finding where my weaknesses are with color theory and doing more research, I then use the color picker less and less, kind of like training wheels. Again, I think it's a great tool to use to supplement your color theory studies, and it doesn't have to be mindlessly copying. I'd also recommend this exercise using the color picker. I took this color palette from Pinterest. I first tried to guess the color on my own. That's the first color swatch. Then I picked the target color with the color picker and put it beside my attempt to see how close I got. We used to do this in my traditional painting classes as well. My professor would put a color swatch down and then we would try to match it. This exercise has really helped me when translating my reference photos to paintings. And that's kind of all I have to say about color picking. I do think it's a really great tool, and I'm sad I'm just now realizing how it can benefit my learning and that I avoided it because I felt I wasn't supposed to use it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, everyone, and keep painting.